What a difference 90 minutes of football can do to your life. Unbelievable yesterday. Like many, I'm still buzzing from what we witnessed in terms of West Ham's performance and result, of course, against Newcastle. But the performance itself was probably bigger than the result, really. Although we desperately needed the points and a win was just so needed. So there's certainly no issue with that. But I've got to say, the manner of how we done it, beating a team like Newcastle and the way we did it was just sensational, and it's just breathed belief back into the season and so desperately needed. It was massive. That could be the turning point of the season. That could be that game you look back on and go, that was the moment, because that felt like Nuno arrived for me at West Ham. We've been kind of waiting for that to happen, haven't we? We've hired Nuno with a bit of excitement, thinking this guy has got a very good reputation in the Premier League. He's done it now with a couple of clubs. He's taken them pretty much from nowhere into European football. By the way, I'm not suggesting that's where we're going this season, but you get my point. We've hired a very established manager in terms of this level. Obviously, the first 4 games, 1 point from those under his stewardship, and it's just been under his leadership, shall I say? And it hasn't been good enough, and we've seen some alarming performances. Brentford one especially. So there was pressure on going to this Newcastle game, and let's be honest, like, not much hope. I didn't wake up on Sunday morning thinking this is the game. Like most, I was thinking, Christ, if we concede, especially if we concede early, we're going to crumble. But we did concede early, and we didn't crumble. That was the most pleasing thing, is the fact that we grew into the game. We responded so well. It was all round a really pivotal and vital day I felt for the football club, and just hope that is something now that we can now build upon. And with Nuno now, I just feel like there's a bit of confidence that we will. Do you know what I mean? You've got someone there. I did talk about it in the build up in terms of his press conferences and interviews he was doing before the game. That I had a good feeling about that we were going to see a better performance. I just get the feeling that something was going to click for us, because it had to come at some point. You know what I mean? We've heard is the hard work they're putting in the training ground, and the fact that Nuno was feeling better about things going into it. He thought this could be the day, and we might start seeing something up against a very good team. So in my mind, I've got to be honest, going to that game, if we can get a point out of this, I'll be thrilled. But the fact we won, and we won so well, was sensational. I want to talk about the game. I'm not going to go through the whole game, because I know it's been done now. I was going to pick out a couple of bits, but I did a video yesterday coming out of the stadium, and it was only a few minutes, just a sort of quick reaction. So I just want to go over a couple of things. Obviously, I haven't spoken about everything, so I want to just talk about a few bits and pieces. Also then talk about the reaction from that performance, and then feelings going into the next weekend and what have you. Before I do that, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. It's free to do so. Really appreciate your support. It's been fantastic of late. Really, really good joining our community. So if you hit that like button as well and give us a hype up, I really appreciate it. But yeah, if you're not a subscriber, check it out. Come and join us. Why not? As I said, I want to talk about that response to that early goal, because that was big. That was really big. When you consider that West Ham went 1-0 down in the 4th minute. Jacob Murphy, great strike, I've got to be honest. I mean, I felt that our defending was pretty poor, actually, for that goal. The midfield wasn't there. They cut right through us. Well, and it was on the counter-attack, because we just hit the post, and it was really unlucky from Jarrod Bowen, which would have been a sensational goal. And we started well, by the way, as well. The first few minutes we were good. And then they go up to the other end and score. I thought that Diouf was a bit poor, really, in how he was handling Murphy. I think he was a little bit too casual with it. I thought that Kilman got pulled out of position. So it was to be honest with you, it was a poor goal to concede. It wasn't great. Not much Areola could do with it. In fact, I don't think anything he could have really done with it. It was a great strike from Murphy. But at that point, West Ham fans, you just felt, oh, here we go. Can you believe it? Already we're losing. And West Ham, when we concede a goal, that is it. You know what I mean? When do West Ham come back? We don't. We're not good at it. Okay, we did it at Everton. We got a draw, but we don't come back and win. And so for me, like many people, once that goal, once that ball at the back of the net, Murphy scored, it was game over. In my mind, I'm thinking, I can't believe it. Already we're losing. Already we're facing another defeat. And then in your mind, you're thinking, God, is this going to be another cricket score? Are we going to get hammered? But no, we responded so well. And I'm so pleased in the manner about how we did things. No heads went down. And I've got to say as well, the fans I thought were fantastic yesterday. I thought the London Stadium was really in full voice. I thought it was noisy. It felt like West Ham a little bit yesterday. There was a real good buzz about the place, and it was really good, really, really good. And I felt that everyone played their part. Paqueta goes and gets the equaliser. I mean, I've slagged Paqueta off quite recently on here and said that he doesn't deliver enough for his ability. That he's, for a player of his quality, we need him to be doing more. Nuno talked about it in his press conference, saying that, he's talking about being the number 10, that symbol of the team, that he needs to do more. He needs to lead the team, really, be that figurehead. And I just think he responded so well, Paqueta. Paqueta was sensational yesterday. Absolutely sensational. I know that Freddie Potts is getting the plaudits, and rightly so, by the way, because Freddie Potts was brilliant. I'm going to come to him in a minute. But Paqueta for me, was the best player. He ran the show. He was sensational. Everything went through Paqueta. He wanted the ball all the time. Everywhere on that pitch, Paqueta, give me the ball, give me the ball. He was brilliant. And the fact he got the goal, got the equaliser, brilliant strike as well, outside the box, just cutting his left and just fires it in the bottom corner. Nick Pope should have done better. I think he just didn't quite read the flight of the ball. But who cares? Brilliant strike from Paqueta, and it obviously lifted everybody. And then you think, right, here we go, we're going to kick on now. This is obviously after as well we had a penalty disallowed. It did start to feel like, this is going to be one of them days, isn't it? It's just not going to go our way. But yeah, brilliant goal from Paqueta, who, as I say, went on to have this game where he's just, for me, that sort of 10 out of 10 performance where he grips hold of the game. He's the one that says, we are going to win this game of football. And that's what you want, isn't it? From your best players, from those players that have got that ability about them, that magic about them, the ones that can carve open opportunities, can score from 30 yards themselves out of nothing. You need them to say, right, we are going to win this game, follow me, kind of thing. And I think when he's purring Paqueta, we're just a different beast. West Ham are just a different team. It was sensational. And I'll tell you what, as much as I've slagged off Paqueta on this channel, and people will remind me of it, so I'm willing to accept it, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad he shut me up. I'm glad, because I said that to my dad just now, so I'm so glad he shut me up, because that was the performance that many have been craving from him. I'm like, that's what you want to see. If he could do that more often than not, if he was doing that, say he played like that sort of 25, 30 times a season, Christ almighty, we'd be flying. I appreciate he struggles to keep that consistent level up, but we really need him to be at that level, because he is just, when he's at his best, Paqueta, it is just mesmerising to watch. It's just a joy. And yeah, just so thrilled for him. Brilliant goal. Really pleased for it. And we obviously then went on to win the game. Own goal from Botman just right before half time, and then we went and scored right at the death of the game in the 97th minute, whatever it was, through Souček. Fully deserved. We deserved that win yesterday. We absolutely deserved it. I don't care what anyone says. I know that there will be some that will say, yeah, but Newcastle weren't quite at their best and all that. And okay, I can take that Newcastle weren't at their best. But Newcastle, don't forget, we're playing against a really good performing West Ham team yesterday. West Ham played really well. And I just don't think they could lay a glove on us. I think they really struggled to get the grips of us. They did. I don't think that Eddie Howe got it right. I think that Nuno outdone him. I think that the setup that we had, that is the blueprint now. Nuno's got his blueprint. He's got his team. And I have to talk about the midfield first. I mean, this is one part of the team. Midfield has been a problem at West Ham now for 3-4 years now. It's been a real big problem, where we haven't, basically since we lost Rice, I think. But since we lost Declan Rice and we didn't have that balance with Souček, Rice in the midfield, we've never really recovered from it. We've tried, and we've had moments where we thought we would get it. Alvarez was too hit and miss, wasn't he? His disciplinary was an issue. Always felt like he was banned. He had Ward-Prowse come in, and yeah, he works hard, but just not good enough for what we need. And we've just had so many problems, and every manager that's come in, we just never seem to be able to get it right. But that midfield is what we've all been wanting to see. Potts and Fernandes and Paqueta. It was just sensational. It clicked. It worked. And I've got to say, and I've just talked about Paqueta, let's start with Freddie Potts, because Potts was just, it gives you so much pride, doesn't it, as a West Ham fan, to watch an academy lad, someone that's dad's been at the club since, I was a boy. I must tell my dad yesterday, I remember when Steve Potts came to my school as a player, and it was like, oh my God, Steve Potts is here, and things like that. And, Stevie Potts obviously playing for West Ham when I started watching this, and we're talking about. Well, I talked to him the other day about it. 92, I was getting involved. You know what I mean? And see his son out there and playing like that, and giving you sort of Rice vibes a little bit. That sort of feeling of like he looks a really good player. This lad is a top draw Premier League quality midfielder. And he's only 22. Do you know what I mean? He's just starting to make his mark on the team, and it's sensational. It just gives you so much pride and hope for the future. And the fact he's one of our own as well. That someone's come right through the academy and been here since a little boy. As I say, his family will connect to the club. It's just wonderful. It was wonderful, and I'm so pleased for him. Absolutely gutted his goal got ruled out. I mean, I was watching the game and I couldn't see where I sit. It was too difficult to see any kind of make any call on the judgment of it being offside. Obviously, it's been checked by the old technology. But how cruel is that when it's like a toe? I mean, it's so unfair. I get it. The rules are the rules, but it's so painful. But I love what Potts said after the game. He was asked about it, and he even said, to be honest, I've forgotten about it. He said, I was just so pleased with one. So I went to him and went, oh, mate, it was like you were only offside by a margin. He went, I forgot. I literally didn't even think about it. I'm just thinking about the win. I mean, that is a top lad, isn't it? What a lad he is. Sensational. I've got nothing but praise for Freddie Potts, like we all have. And I thought as well, Fernandes was magnificent. That was his best game in the West Ham shirt. I think there's a lot of players' best games in the West Ham shirt. Paqueta's one of his best he's ever played for us. I mean, I know he's had a few good performances over his time, but he was sensational. Potts obviously he got man of the match. As I say, for me, Paqueta was man of the match, but I get why Potts got it because his first start and Premier League and just that kind of everything about it, and the fact that he comes from the academy and everything else. It was just, it was right. I felt like it's probably right. It went to him, but for me, Paqueta was just sensational. But I've got to say, there were so many performers out there that you could say were man of the match. Do you know what I mean? There's a few you could pick out and go, he was sensational. They were so good. Even players I've been not been happy with, I thought were excellent. But yeah, I thought Fernandes, he makes such a difference. He's so daring and quick, and he's got a bite to him, isn't he, Fernandes? He gets really stuck in, and yeah, great player, great to watch. And it's the first time I've watched West Ham in such a long time where I'm looking at our midfield thinking, we've got a really good midfield. With West Ham, I've got a really good midfield in the Premier League. Oh, it's just fabulous to watch. Absolutely brilliant. I'm so pleased. So midfield's brilliant. I've got to talk about Kilman and Todibo. As I say, Kilman I felt was at fault for the goal a little bit. I thought he got pulled out of position, which he does have a tendency to do at times. But I'll tell you what, for a player that's had a fair bit of stick, really, and rightly so, because he has had some iffy performances. Obviously, he's got that £40 million price tag, which hangs around his neck, which doesn't help him. But fair play to him. I tell you, fair play to him, because he didn't start great, but he got better and better and better. And by the end, he was excellent. He reminded me of Zuma, like Zuma at his best. I mean, he was everywhere, winning every ball and just excellent. Every time he got the ball, he was calm and composed. He was dealing with things. He was clearing it well. If he was in a panic, it was getting straight out of play. He wasn't putting anywhere in danger land or putting us in no man's land kind of situation. He was dealing with it really well, and I just felt that, you know what, that's a test to your character. That is a lot to do that, to be at fault for a goal, knowing that you've got fans on your back a little bit. Because let's be honest, there are certain players that get a bit of stick from fans in general. Do you know what I mean? Souček used to get it quite a bit, not so much now, but he used to get it quite a lot. If we weren't playing well, he'd tend to be the one you'd point and go, see, he's the issue. And around me in general, I've found for the last year or so that Kilman tends to be one of those players that you can hear, around you. Kilman's the issue. And to be honest, at times I say it. I say, oh, God's sake, what's he doing? But so he's not stupid. He knows that. And the fact that he then sort of gone, look, I've dealt with this, I get the stick, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to respond like that. I thought it was excellent. I thought Kilman played really, really well. Again, one of them players that, all right, he wouldn't necessarily say he was man of the match, but for him on a personal level, he does deserve that. Do you know what I mean? If I knew him, I'd tell him, like, you were brilliant, you deserve plaudits. And I'm sure he will. I'm sure Nuno will tell him that. And it has to be said about Todibo as well. He's in that category. A player that I've not wanted to see play for West Ham again. I've been fuming over him in terms of what we've been hearing about his attitude. And obviously he's gone from third manager now with issues and all these things. Fitness has been a problem, and all, and we've seen him perform badly. And you're just thinking, God, what have we bought here? Well, I don't know where that came from him. You know, when I saw his name on the team sheet, you think, oh Christ, you know, this is a big test for him. The fact he was swapped around as well with Kilman, which I couldn't understand, it really straight away it jumped out at me. I thought, what is he doing here, Nuno? I don't know why it worked, but it worked, and I've got to say that's the best I've seen Todibo play for West Ham. He was excellent. He was excellent throughout that game. Faultless, stunning performance from him. And God, did we need that? Did we, as a club, as fans, need to see these players step up and play well? It's one thing I feel that we've suffered with for quite some time at this football club, where the certain players have just not delivered for us on a regular basis, and it's been a problem. When we've got our key performers performing, everything just clicks. We are such a different team, and yeah, he was excellent. He was a big part of that yesterday to Debo, and it helps Kilman when they're both playing well. That defense looks so much more solid. And I'll tell you what. People will say, well, Newcastle didn't really lay a glove on West Ham. I'll tell you, there's a reason they didn't really lay a glove on us, especially that second half, was because of them two. They were sensational. That's not to say, by the way, the other defenders weren't bad as well. I mean, I thought Diouf is suspect defending, but Diouf looks like a young defender that's learning the Premier League. He's trying to get the grips with the pace of everything. I think that's all it is. Going forward, he's sensational. Defending, you can see he's still struggling. But again, I thought he grew into the game. He got better and better as the game went on. And Wan-Bissaka was back to Wan-Bissaka. Just brilliant performance from him. Even Areola, I've got to say, Areola didn't have a great deal to do, but when he did, he did well. He looked composed, looked good. You can't blame him from the goal, as I said earlier. No fault of his at all. I thought he made a couple of good saves in that game, but ultimately, I thought he handled things well, he handled pressure well. I've got no problem with him at all. And I'll tell you what, he's starting to grab hold of that shirt a little bit more firm now. I think he's got more of a grip on it, thinking, I'll tell you what, if he can keep playing like that, then no problem at all. Yeah, really pleased. Look, you could go for every player, couldn't you, and say they played really well. I thought even Callum Wilson, I thought it was excellent, really. I thought what he provides up front for us is, you can't really sort of put a price on it, can you? Having that quality of striker, he runs, the way he handles defenders, is something we're not used to. And when you see it, like a top striker knowing how to handle defenders and how to move at the right time, when to wait and when to pull defenders out of position, he's just so good at it. He's so good at it, and it makes a big difference. And he put in a shift. I mean, he only lasts an hour now, which is right as well. We always knew that with him. But he put in a bloody good shift yesterday, and it was really good. Bowen was excellent. I mean, Somerville again. I could go through every single player, so brilliant. I'm really pleased. But the biggest, obviously, pat on the back as well. Not the biggest, but a big pat on the back goes to Nuno. I mean, he's come into this football club picking up an absolute mess. Morale on the floor, fan unrest, board issues. We've got, we're pretty much bottom of the league, and the list goes on and on and on. With West Ham, and I think that we've been all aching to see Nuno sort of stamp his mark on this football club, to give us that Nuno blueprint, to go, this is what we're going to do. I felt that we got that yesterday. I think we finally saw what Nuno's trying to do, because that felt like a Nuno team performance, what you'd expect from sort of like a Forest team. Really deadly on the counter, but resolute, tough. We were really clipping at their heels, in their faces. We were fighting. Those players were out there fighting for each other. When did West Ham do that? When was the last time West Ham players even, were fighting for one another, going and getting their other team's faces, dealing with the referee, telling him to do one, and all that? I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was really good. But yeah, credit to Nuno. I'm so pleased for him, and it feels like now we've got that team. That team now, now your back four, your keeper, and your midfield, and you know what I mean. The blueprint's there now. Yes, you're going to have to make tweaks here and there, injuries, suspensions, obviously different opponents are going to change things a little bit, but ultimately now pretty much 9 or 10 players every week now. Nothing much is going to change. I'm thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled, buzzing with excitement. And obviously the big question is, what does this mean now for our season? Are we going to turn it around? I mean, it's far too early to say, isn't it? It's one game. But I tell you what, we've given ourselves a platform now. We've given ourselves an opportunity to get ourselves back on track and get ourselves out of this mess. We've got Burnley on Saturday, which is just such a big game. If we can beat Burnley, I think, is it 2 goals? If we're beaten by 2 goals, we go level on goal difference as well. But let's forget that for the minute. We beat Burnley, we go level on points. Then we go into the international break. And I tell you what, if we can get level on points then and give us that clear path to get out of this, then I would start to really believe that we are going to get out of this mess this season and we will survive. But yeah, obviously that's a big game. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but isn't it wonderful? What a lovely feeling this is to have some belief back at West Ham, because it's been a long time. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you are bloody enjoying it. Don't let anyone ever say to you to wind it in and calm it down. No, do you know what? We've been on the floor for so bloody long. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy the fact that West Ham actually put in a fabulous performance, fully deserve that win, and hopefully it's a win that's going to spearhead our survival this season, because I don't know about you, I'm certainly feeling a lot more confident about that anyway. Anyway, look, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day. There'll be news from X later on, so I'll do a video tomorrow, an update from transfer bits and news, whatever comes from X. So we'll talk about that then. But look, have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and come on, you Irons.